What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and this is their Holiday Porter, the 2019 release. So this is an American porter that comes in at 5.8% alcohol by volume, 40 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 5 weeks old. So when it comes to the Winter Classics mixed pack, this is probably, depending on the year, either my second or third favorite offering. Depends on the vintage, because some years I like the chocolate bock better and other years I like this one more. So the cool thing about this beer is it's one of the few beers that is not adjunct when it comes to the Winter Classics mixed pack. This is just a American porter. They say on the label, dark and robust. They have a little spiel here on the back. They say they use traditional English ale hops and Bavarian noble hops, and yeah. Anyway, I've had this one numerous times before, so full disclosure. And like I said, I've always enjoyed it, and we'll see if this year's release is much of the same. I hope it is, because it is a good beer. It's it's not like an amazing beer, but I always enjoy this one once a year. So let's give it a pour into the perfect pint glass here from Samuel Adams. So the one thing I've always noticed about this one is that it definitely comes off like in the glass. I don't know how it's gonna look on camera, but that poured out like, this kind of looks like a like an American red or something. Very, very light porter at best. But yeah, I mean, it has these really nice, like into the light, it's basically mahogany, or like a copperish look to it. Has about a finger of a straight up cream colored, khaki colored head. But yeah, that doesn't look like a typical porter that you would think about. Definitely looks a lot lighter, but whatever. Looks can be deceiving. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it just smells really nice. There's a slight like roasted malt character. Brown bread, like toasted brown bread. An earthiness, a slight spicy component, probably from those noble hops. A touch of like a very light chocolate, caramel and toffee. This again, a lot of times you'll get an American brown ale and it'll look like a porter. And I'm getting more like an American brown ale kind of meets like an Irish red type of thing in here. But it smells pretty good. And like I said, I've always remembered it being lighter in color. Yeah, it smells sweet but reserved. Has enough of that like spicy hop component from probably the noble hops. A little bit of earthiness that kind of dial back the sweetness. Smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, it's good. It's a good beer. And I really like that it's super balanced, at least for me. It's a very sessionable porter. I mean, it's 5.8%, and the flavors just scream session beer. Very, very drinkable. You want to, that's the only thing, bummer about a lot of these beers in this pack. You can't buy 6-packs of a lot of these beers. They only come in the Winter Classics pack. But anyway, body on this one. I don't know what it is, but I had the Winter Lager, last week? And man, the bodies of these beers are just way better than I remember. This is like higher side of medium body. Like this has, it's a great body for 5.8%. I'm kind of surprised. The mouthfeel, it's crisp. It's relatively clean. It's almost like lager-esque in the mouthfeel. Crisp, clean, effervescent. There's a decent amount of carbonation, but it's really silky smooth on top of it. And you can see, when I review beers, I typically drink, 3 to 4 ounces of the beer. I'd have no problems finishing this by the end of the review. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying I could easily do that. The flavors, though, light chocolate, light caramel, light toffee, toasted brown bread, toasted white bread, kind of has sweeter malt characters right at the forefront. As it starts passing through the palate, the spicy noble hops kick in, and then there's this like nice, like earthy kind of hop component as well. As it finishes on the palate, finishes semi-dry with a low to moderate, like approaching moderate bitterness to balance out the sweetness from all the malt character up front. And I'm left with a just super balanced, easygoing 5.8% American porter. It doesn't look like an American porter. It doesn't necessarily taste like one. Like if I was doing this blind, I don't think I'd necessarily call it a porter. I would call it more in like a brown ale, maybe like an American red type of style. But regardless of what they say this beer is, it's just a really well-balanced, easygoing beer. That's what it is. I could drink a lot of these. Unfortunately, they, like I said, they don't come in 6-packs. But yeah, very easy drinking beer. 5.8%. Unlike the winter lager where I get a little bit of like chest warming and stuff, not really in this one. Not much to speak of in terms of alcohol. Yeah, this is a sessionable darker beer, and I enjoy it. I like it a little bit more than a winter lager. As you can see, I think it's a little bit more for me balanced. The fact that it doesn't have adjuncts, I do like this one a little bit more. So Holiday Porter, the 2019 release from Samuel Adams. I'm going to give this a high 3.75. I'm going to go 3.85 out of 5 for this one. It approaches a 4. You know, some years this is a 4 for me, other years 3.75. This year, you know, closer to a 3.75 than a 4, but somewhere between. Regardless, ratings don't really matter for the most part. You guys know I'm saying it right now. I enjoy this beer. It's a good beer. I like it. Like I said, either the second or third favorite beer within the mix pack for me. Just something about it. I just think it's such an like easygoing, balanced beer that, you know, I don't drink a ton of just like the balanced, easygoing beers, and it just hits me in the feels, so to speak. Price and availability on this one. Price point, I paid $16.49 for the mixed 12-pack, the Winter Classics pack. So talking $1.35, $1.40 for this bottle, which is great value. And availability, here's the thing. Great availability when it comes to Sam Adams because you can get them everywhere. I mean, Sam Adams is available everywhere. You'll go to your favorite, you know, chain restaurant or whatever, and a lot of times you'll see the winter lager, like their Oktoberfest during the seasonals from Samuel Adams, the Boston Lager, and so forth. But for this beer specifically, the availability isn't great because it's only, I'm pretty sure, they may have released this in 6-packs in the past, but I haven't seen it, you know, in a long time. But this is only available, I believe, in the Winter Classics pack. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I am out there, somebody let me know. But if that's the case, the availability kind of sucks because you have to buy the Winter Classics mix pack to get only 2 bottles of this. Unless you buy like the Winter Classics mix pack at like a Sam's Club or a Costco where they have the full case, you'll get 4 bottles of it. But again, just like a lot of these beers, like the Old Fezziwig, which I'll be reviewing in the chocolate box, I wish these beers were released in 6-packs, 12-packs cases, because I'd love to have a 6-pack of this. I'd love to have a 6-pack, even a 12-pack of Old Fezziwig each year, but you know what? It's not meant to be, and that's how they get you to buy the Winter Classics mix pack. So 3.85 out of 5 for the Holiday Porter 2019 release from Samuel Adams. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Obviously, I'm digging it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there do as well, but I'm sure some of you are probably not a big fan of that and are a big fan of this, and that's okay because that's how this world is. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.